So, this is the desert flower they've sent me. You're smaller than the painting of you let on, but that's not entirely disappointing. Ah, I see. You thought I'd be old, didn't you? Gray-bearded and bent over, with blood on my hands and a gold-gilded chain for your ankles? Well, that's what your people told you, isn't it? It's what they wanted you to believe. They whisper about the King of the Sands, call me ruthless, brutal. And they're not entirely wrong. I did kill my father, and my brother, but they would have sold this kingdom piece by piece for gold and wine, because they saw thrones as ornaments, not responsibilities. So yes, perhaps brutal fits. Sit. You've come a long way. Let me look at you. That fire in your eye doesn't exactly match the fear that I figured your kingdom was trying to strike into you by sending you my way. Well, that's good. You'll need that. They didn't let you speak much at court, did they? Didn't let you count, trade, tally gold? Didn't care that you could read maps better than the generals and balance ledgers faster than any ministers? Fools. Simple fools. I've read your records. You broke academic charts they thought couldn't even be broken. You threatened their pride. So they wrapped you up in silk and sent you here. As if that would silence you. Well, you're mine now. Oh, don't you start glaring at me, girl. By the way, did you know that flowers in the desert are significantly stronger than they look? They don't easily wilt from a little change in pressure. They are strong, and I value that strength. That being said, you'll find things different here. You won't sit quietly beside me like a vase. You will rule with me. You advise, plan, and trade. This kingdom will rise not just from the sword and from extortion, but from coin, innovation, and partnership. Your talents won't gather dust in scrolls here. They will write the future. Look, do you see it? The city stretches far beyond the dunes. It aches for trade, for prosperity, for vision. We will sell what no other kingdom dares to seek. Rare goods, impossible luxuries, and knowledge that other kingdoms have all but forgotten. What we lack in agricultural advantage we will simply make up for in academics and wit. We will grow this kingdom, together. I'll remind you that you are not a prisoner here, but make no mistake, you are mine. And I am yours. We are tied now by law and blood and no small bit of obligation. But whether you thrive or perish in this place depends entirely on how you decide to bloom, my little desert flower. Anyway, tomorrow the court will gather. They'll expect you to speak little, smile, perhaps give a quaint nod every now and then, but I expect more of you. No, tomorrow you will show them that a flower from my house is not simply for looking pretty. By the goddess, did you see their faces? I haven't seen the Grand Treasurer that pale since he mistook sandal polish for wine. And Minister Darren, well, I thought his mustache might leap off and storm out in protest. Who would have thought that after our little chat yesterday you'd return to your room and draft up a kingdom reform proposal? I did hope we would use the shared bedroom for our wedding night, but that was a nice gift as well. I've been sitting in that hall for years, even before I became king, listening to the men drone on about trade routes and the price of grain, like they were describing a dying camel. But you strolled into the court in the same dress you arrived in, makeup touched up, and in front of 40 seasoned ministers, you proposed reorganizing the entire trade levy system, cutting tariffs along the coast and redirecting grain surplus into bond investments, and then, as if that wasn't enough chaos for one morning, you recommended that we subtly provoke the northern tribes into skirmishing just enough to justify reclaiming the mineral passes they stole 50 years ago. Oh, and you said it so sweetly, like you were suggesting new uniforms for the servants. I've never seen so many old men choke on their own tongues. Here, to the woman who made half my court consider early retirement. I am impressed. You knew what they'd think, what they'd whisper, that you were young, foreign, decorative, like it'll be one of my many wives and forgotten in the East Wing, and yet You stood there like you were born to wear that crown. Keep this up and I might actually fall in love with you. Tell me something. Were you always this dangerous? Or did marrying me simply give you permission? I mean, that skirmish you recommended, that's dirty. You're playing with men's lives on the line. Though at least it's not my men, so I still think it's a good plan. You keep doing this, turning my palace upside down with scrolls and plans, and I'll have half the court plotting your exile by the end of the week, and the other half begging for your advice. Which reminds me, your Sandspine Corridor plan. It's being drawn up for review already. I've assigned 2 map rights, and tomorrow they'll send envoys to the western oases. But I want you in those meetings. No one explains your ideas better than you. And after today, I think they'll listen. Or they'll learn to, at least. You listen to me, Flower. You've changed something today, and you've left your own mark. It's easy to see how they tried to bury you in silk. You know, I must admit, it is still curious. We're married, by ink, by witness, and yet... When do you plan on sharing my chambers? Well, not that I mind the suspense, my desert flower, but I'm starting to wonder, are you avoiding temptation or testing my patience? No matter, I am a patient man. But fair warning, should you decide to try to surprise me at night, I do not startle easily. But I do keep a knife under my pillow, so best not to jump on me. Are you still blushing? You've been in here for 3 whole minutes and you still haven't relaxed. Come now, Flower, it's just steam and soap. No ceremonial binding, no secret wedding rites, just a very large and expensive tub. Though I have to admit, I was curious whether you'd show up. Oh, come on, don't give me that look. It was your maids that didn't tell you I was already in here. Plus, in case you have forgotten, we are married. I get it, don't worry, I'll keep my distance. Still, I wanted a moment with you without gold-tongued ministers or bitter old generals eavesdropping behind every pillar. They're still digesting your proposal, you know. Trade, conscription, infrastructure, and that little territorial bait to rile up our neighbors. So I wanted to suggest something to you in the meantime. How about we head to the Merchants District in disguise? How are you to come up with more great ideas without seeing my country's everyday affairs? What do you mean, how are we going to get there? What, do you not trust me? And I thought we were bonding well. Well then. Anyway, finish your bath. I'll have some clothes waiting for you outside the door. Meet me at the stables, we ride in an hour. Don't bring a guard, obviously. Just bring your eyes and some parchment and ink. The stables? Your maids never told you where those were? Well, I'll leave a map for you in the pocket of your clothes. Don't lose it, though, or else we'll have a security issue on our hands. You know, just because I call you a flower doesn't mean you have to smell like rosewater. Are you intentionally trying to come off as a noble? Well, yes, roses are rather rare out here, unlike back in your home country. I'm surprised after all your research you didn't figure that one out. Of course I put some outside your room. Had to make you feel like you were at home. Well, not that that matters now. To the common folk, we're just 2 nobles slumming for spice and silks. These markets change so often that the maps made for this area are all but useless. I'm sure some of these traders haven't paid taxes in 3 generations. But if you know what you're looking for, you can find real quality. I've seen some of these merchants carrying knives carved from meteor stone. Some even carry messages between kings. But I'm sure if we pressure them for too much information, they'll just disappear like sand in the wind. Here, look at these stalls. Spices, yes, but do you see the grain? The price tags are ridiculous, the nobles hoard it, and the smugglers skim the shipments. If we could reroute the trade routes inland through the oasis caravans, we could increase local supply without raising tariffs. Or, better yet, if we could find a way to farm it within our own country, we wouldn't need to rely on so much foreign trade. Any day they could decide to cut us off and starve the people. My people deserve better than that. I see that look in your eye. You're already thinking of how to bring the price of saffron down, aren't you? Careful, your crown is showing. No, not literally. Wait, where are you going? Girl, you do not know these roads. Wait, for me at least. Stay close. This is not the kind of place we're meant to be seen. Where do you think we are? A land poisoned by the greed of gold where anything can be sold for a price, including you. Maybe even me. Apologies. The man smelled like narcotics and gunpowder. Come on, we're leaving. If we make it out of here alive, remind me to lecture you on wandering into black market territories dressed in silk-stitched bait. Don't let go of my hand in this crowd. It's just a bit further. Wear this shawl, it'll hide your hair. Well, at least we're out of there. Congratulations! You've now seen the bowels and the belly of the city. It seems we've made it into the more touristy area of town. Not exactly my favorite route here, but it's too late to head back to the castle now. The guards protect the gate more closely at night, and we don't want to cause a commotion. Yes, I know it's a minor security problem, but it lets me sneak out. Yes, I understand that the king shouldn't be sneaking out. Are you trying to lecture me in my own kingdom? You snuck out with me. How about this? Instead of continuing to nag me, why don't you keep observing your surroundings? Like this fountain, for example. This one's my favorite. Well, I jest, but I would come here quite often in my youth. Used to wish on the fountain for better days. I did not live the glorious childhood of a royal. Such is the fate of the second prince. Oh, let's find an inn for the night before all the rooms are taken.
Oh, a honeymoon, is it?
That's right, sir. Married just yesterday.
And is that your woman over there, son?
Sure is. Finest I've seen around.
Well, you treat her right. She's a looker.
Oh, I'm very aware of that, sir. Thank you very much. What, you thought I couldn't act? Then what's with the look on that face? Oh, come on, you know we have to blend in. What kind of married couple books 2 rooms? I don't want to sleep on the floor. I'm royalty. What was that? I don't have to explain myself to you. Can't a man reminisce at a fountain with... Well, I suppose you are my wife now. Can't hurt to tell you a little bit about my childhood. Though it's not exactly a fun story, Flower. Not exactly something you'd want to hear. Anyway, let's get to the room. What, you can't claim the bed? Fine, if I tell you my story, will you at least give me half of the bed? Oh, you're not gonna let me sleep until I tell you, huh? What exactly are you gonna do to keep me up? Ow! Hey! Hey! Woman, don't harm the royal face! Huh. Okay, fine. You wanna know why it was hard? Why I wish for better days? Well, it wasn't exactly the royal palace that I minded. It was the rest of the royal family that made life in this kingdom living hell. As you well know, I was the second son, the spare, born of a concubine, not her royal majesty. I was meant to be nothing more but a shadow behind the gold-tinted heir to the throne. But my father and brother, they didn't care about ruling. They just wanted the right to rule. They wanted that power for nothing more than influence, food, and women. They just wanted to be at the top of the world. My mother, as you may know, was not of noble birth. She was taken from her home and sold to the king, probably for a lot of money. But with the little power she had, she tried to help the poor. She started food programs, water routes, school tents in the outskirts. And my father killed her for that. Said she was trying to entice the poor, unify them to commit treason. I think it was just the queen in his ear. After that, I stopped being an obedient little second prince. I started traveling in secret, brokering deals with minor lords and outland traders. A duke across the river taught me how to wield a sword. Not the royal fencing they teach sons of kings, real swordplay. The stuff that's close and ugly and lethal. Then I formed a mercenary company under a false name. We sold grain during famine while my father's nobles auctioned off spices to the highest bidder. After some time, I had acquired enough followers to start something of an information guild. Quiet and precise. Eyes in every estate, ears in every banquet hall. And that's how I learned which ministers were plotting coups, and which ones liked their coin delivered in silk handkerchiefs. And when I finally tried to confront my family, and begged them to change, they laughed. So I had no choice. I killed my father, then I killed my brother. The first was justice, perhaps a little bit of revenge, and the second, well, the second one haunts me sometimes. I still see him in my dreams as a boy, still grinning and asking if I'd finally come to play swords with him like we used to. Didn't expect that, did you? But you asked, and as my wife, you have a right to know. Now you tell me, why did I have to become this? Why did I have to be a monster to do what was right? Well, Flower, that I wasn't expecting, but I will accept and embrace. Well, I won't complain, but if this is what I have to do to get a hug, then I've got my work cut out for me, don't I? Though I do have to admit, you may be the first person to hug me since my mother died. Oh, you're soft when you want to be, aren't you? I'll remember that. So, I don't really have to sleep on the floor tonight, right? You're not really going to let this poor king catch a chill on these ancient stone tiles, are you? Huh. You're heartless, Flower. What, I save you from smugglers, risk my life dodging crates and knives, and still you banish me to the floor like a common criminal. Unbelievable. Why did I choose you? I knew you had a conscience somewhere in there. Go on, scoot over. Fine, I'll sleep with my back turned to you. Just don't steal the blankets. You know you looked at me like I was an animal when we first met. The kind of beast to buy another person. Granted, I did do that, but I did specifically request you. This marriage, this alliance, it was meant to be a move on a game board. Two kingdoms playing politics. But tonight, laying here with you, it feels more personal. Alright, fine. Get some sleep. I've had a long day thanks to you. But in the morning, we'll need to figure out an excuse as to why we weren't in our rooms. And I know at least one of my retainers is probably going to try to kill me. You should be fine, though. Just tell them it was my idea.